You're listening to Steal This Idea, the only podcast that wears white after Labor Day. I guess just steal it. Steal this idea.
Yes, steal this idea.
Steal this idea.
Stop what you're doing right now and steal this idea.
Steal this idea.
Steal it. All that matters is you're stealing ideas.
I'm telling you right now, you need to steal this idea.
Steal it. Just steal it.
Can I steal it?
Steal this idea.
Yes, steal this idea.
Hello again, thieves. Scott here. This is what I've landed on, is thieves.
Thieves. I not the way better than ideologue. 100 million times.
So hopefully maybe we get some shirts that say like I'm a thief, idea thief, thieves. Maybe we'll have like a book club, 40 thieves.
Thieves Nation.
Thieves Nation. See? It's going to catch on. Mark my words.
Yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Scott Knudsen here, Andre, to steal this idea. We got a good show for you guys today. We're going to do a new segment. Andre supposedly has a killer idea. He's definitely not nervous about it.
Not at all.
At all. And again, for those, if this happens to be your first time listening in, me and Andre are geniuses with $1 million ideas, and we are giving them to you, the people, to steal them, run with them. You have full rights to just take these and make them, because we don't have the time.
For free.
For free. Please.
Except for the minor royalty check that you ought to pay us.
That your conscience should just canker away at you. So I think we just get right into it. The first segment here is going to be good idea, bad idea. Andre, what have you been pitched lately on Instagram?
So last time, or one of these times, Scott and I had a conversation about how I think he's just like a little bit more in dad mode than I am.
100%.
Scott loves to grill. I needed help with a smoker last weekend, and Scott was on hand to help out.
You've got a dad here.
Yes, but I'm not a dad, which means that this is bad Instagram targeting. But I got an ad for knife sharpening by mail.
Oh.
And it's like a trendy site. Like you would think that, I don't know who would come up with such an idea, but basically you ship them 4 knives or something and they sharpen them and then they send the knife back to you.
Interesting.
What would you pay for a service like that?
Let's see.
You could do it per knife, but I will say that the minimum is 4 knives.
Okay. How if I have 4 knives?
Exactly.
Sharpen?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, what's funny is that, so I considered, because I considered doing a knife as one of the ones, the Meissen knife, because I actually bought an Instagram knife that was marketed towards me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, these knives I got them from Costco and they're just not really great. Maybe one really good knife, But that's it. Like I kind of have like the one good one. I don't have like a Cutco big shelf of knives. I would pay maybe $10 at the most. Ideally, I'd pay $5 to sharpen each knife, but maybe $10 at the most. I could.
You'd pay $10 a knife.
Maybe. I'm saying like that's
you're on. So it's $12.25 a knife with a minimum 4 knives, so $50 for 4 knives.
Yeah, that's where you lose me. There is the minimum four.
I agree,
because I would like my one knife sharpened. If it was like,
and
hey, we'll sharpen it for $10. Okay, yeah.
And it feels like the average recommendation would be that the average home chef should have 1 or 2 nice knives.
Sure.
It seems just unfathomable to me. And also, what to you would be better about shipping your knife to someone? Because then you don't have your knife. For
I'm knifeless.
Exactly. Which doesn't seem good versus just buying a knife sharpener.
That's true. It's not that hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I think some knife things come with a little knife sharpener that you can. Yeah, and if you're the type of person who like, oh, I got to get my knife sharpened, like you have a knife sharpener, or you have enough knives, you're like, I don't need to worry about this.
No, I think it's a bad idea.
How long could this company stay?
But like I said, I got an Instagram ad. They have a great website. They have a whole system, great branding. So there must be people out there. Here's actually fix this idea. It would be interesting if when you bought like a Cutco set of cutlery, you got a coupon for 5 knife sharpens with Knife Aid.
Yeah.
And then you start to see the value of professional knife sharpening.
That's interesting.
So you got some really nice knives. You got 5 professional knife sharpenings. Then I could see how that's a good intro to, okay, I don't know, how often do you get your knife sharpened?
6 months? I don't know.
Every 6 months, I send them off to this company.
If you're using ButcherBox, I guess, often to
exactly.
cut meat.
Right, then.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea of like, Because I don't think I would. I don't know if I would instinctively like. I got to go sharpen my knives right now. Is there a service out there?
I can say I definitively would have no idea if my knife was dull or sharp or anything in between.
Yeah. But if I had a coupon for 1 free knife sharpening and they just sent that me to me, I'd be like, sure, I'll sharpen my knives. And then I experienced it, and it truly was like, oh, I didn't know what I was missing out on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might loop me in. So what's the name of this company?
It is called Knife Aid.
Knife Aid, if you're listening.
Knife Aid.
Go ahead and start throwing out some coupons.
Yes, that's a great. I mean, a partnership thing is definitely the best idea. For this.
Any knife manufacturer, they should just slot in a 1 free knife sharpening coupon to every package.
Exactly.
So I had an ad, and I kind of went through an interesting. First, I was like, "This is terrible," and then I went to the website. And I was like, "Oh, maybe it's not bad." And then I went to a different part of the website. I was like, "Nope, my instinct was right. This is terrible." And it's not the actual idea doesn't seem that crazy. So it's a turtle pillow, TRTL pillow. Initially, the ad it's what the website looks like, which is like it looks like you have a neck brace on. It's a travel pillow. It's almost more like it's like a scarf that you would put around your neck, but it has some sort of like reinforced side to it, so you can kind of like lean one way or the other, like on a plane. Which okay, that's not the worst thing in the world, right? What happened was when I initially tried to search travel pillow or this travel pillow, if you click the travel pillow link, all of a sudden it takes me to a different looking travel pillow that is much more appealing. It looks like a regular. Oh, it's like a shirt. It's like a scarf. It doesn't look like a neck brace. That's like not the first thing I see when I go to their main website. It's like this weird medical looking thing.
Yeah.
So
I kind of love it. I am completely opposed to you in every single way on this one.
You're saying
Big time.
you prefer the medical grade looking.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to the website. I'm quantity 1, add to cart, check out.
He's going.
This is happening live on the podcast. I'm buying one of these. Here's the thing. I probably own 8 travel pillows. Not a joke. I will take a picture. I will post it in the show notes or whatever. 8 travel pillows, because every time, first of all,
you forget them.
I forget it obviously, but then I want to try every single one. So I have like the $60 Hudson News one, and I have the $10. I have a lot of travel pillows, and what I hate is in travel pillows, they often are filled with like those beady components.
Yeah.
And the sound of the beads drives me physically insane. So what I love about this is that there's no stuffing component really, and that it would provide so much support on your neck where you could just sleep right in a sitting position.
Do you agree with me that like at least on the main page, it does look like you're wearing a neck brace?
Yeah, but like a travel pillows look so stupid no matter what. Like the best Apple could design a travel pillow. There's just not a lot you can do with it.
I'm saying I might get the travel pillow, the one that doesn't look like a neck brace. I might be like, okay, I could do that. And actually, the price point, $29.
It's a great price because I can't wait. I'm literally hitting PayPal and I'm clicking continue, and I'm going to ship it to the office, and I'm going to sleep at my desk.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I actually think the price point's there, and like there clearly is a version here that I would consider buying. I just think that like when I first saw it, I was like, who would buy this neck brace? And then I went to the website. I was like, oh, actually, it's not too bad. Yeah. But then as I poked around, I was like, they're putting the wrong foot forward. They're putting this like weird version forward. They should, in my opinion, go the other way.
Definitely. I think that the branding could be better, but as a travel pillow connoisseur, I see so much here. I honestly think it looks better than a neck pillow.
What about Turtle TRTL? How do you feel about that new age?
Dumb name, but you can't help people. People are going to do that. You got to look past dumb names to get to the brand sometimes.
All right. What's your? I think you should get 2.
Yeah. So my second idea was Gex, the new no-show sock. So you open this page, and it's kind of like almost like a foot insert.
GEKKS.
Yeah, GEKKS. So again, a really horrible name.
That is a dumb name.
And it looks like, I mean, it's just hard to explain, but it really just looks like a
almost like a Dr. Scholl's, but with like a little bit of a lip on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. And they say it's a replacement to no-show socks, and I can't really figure out how I feel about it. I think they look dumb, but then again,
Sure.
They're not meant to be seen.
And I will say that no-show socks are one of those things where it's like I hate them in some sense because they're always like getting off kilter. I'm always readjusting them. And if I'm wearing shorts and not no-shows, I feel like a fool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a pain point there. I could say like there's room for improvement. This seems like I don't know if this would really fix anything. I guess
It doesn't really feel sanitary because there's no sidewall on like the
it just seems like there's a heel wall.
Yeah.
And then
all it really
barely
controls
a toe
is
wall.
the like foot sole, shoe sole barrier.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that it really is. Also, I will say that the price is $17 a sock for a pair of socks, not per sock.
And here's the other question. It's like, okay, like how often do you have to wash this thing? Like with the socks, it's easy. It's like I wear them once, I take them out. Am I washing this every single time?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and Scott, you have a pair of Allbirds, don't you?
I do.
Which is advertised as the
You don't even need
shoe.
socks.
Exactly. Which it seems like that's a way more innovative way of looking at the world.
Just wash your shoes.
Exactly. Way more interesting.
I think that the solution to the no stench problem, I don't feel like I have the stinkiest feet in the world, but like, they have that spray that like water repels off you. It just seems like we were not too far away from just like, we found out there's a thing.
Here's a thing.
It sprinkles in there and like, it just eliminates just deodorant for your things or whatever. Like that just seems like a better than like this weird shoe insert hybrid thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to say bad idea.
I think so too.
I don't think enough people would get on board with
I'd
this.
try it though. I think
If they sent me one, I'd play around.
Easily.
Maybe they'd change my mind, but yeah, I don't.
because I will say I do think that there are a lot of things wrong with no-show socks. I think I bought Bombas, which is like this really highly advertised brand of socks. They're very expensive. I bought them as my new no-show, and they advertise as like no slip, never rolls down ever, rolls down every single time, and I think I hate it.
I couldn't imagine anything else. Like I don't believe there is a way to design a no-show sock that doesn't just get jammed.
So
up.
we should find a solution, but this isn't it.
Gex is not it. No. All right, I got one last here for you, and then maybe we'll move into a speed round of good idea, bad idea. Okay, so this was another one where I don't know exactly where I land on this. So the initial ad was for these things called Best Self Courage Over Comfort deck. So this is a deck of cards that you would presumably keep on your desk. And they're kind of like inspirational quotes, but most of them are like prompts. And so they would be like, get up and walk around the office. Okay. And then I draw another one that says, go say hi to 3 people. Right. And I get the mental health and overall health. Like that's a good thing. But like this to me reeks of like 2001 desk tearaway calendars.
Yeah.
Just like who is using this? How could anybody use this for more than a week at a time?
I just want to say I use it's not at my work desk, but my home desk does have a tearaway Jeopardy calendar. So I don't appreciate you asserting that makes me old fashioned. So I get this same ad for Best Self. And the Courage Over Comfort deck, basically like to give you an idea of the kinds of things it says, it's like sing out loud with your car windows down. It's stuff like that. And I think that this product category, which is like inspirational action products. So I bought a couple of years ago, like a letters to yourself pack, and it's like stupid prompts. And I mean, it's just like super obnoxious and annoying. And then of course you never do any of them. They just send you
that's my problem.
But what I like is, I mean, I love the branding of the products. And I think that some of these other ones, like they have a wordsmith deck that looks like it's writing prompts. That's interesting.
And that to me, so this is where it came. I zoomed out. I was like, oh, hold on. There's this other stuff here.
Yeah.
And the wordsmith deck, the icebreaker deck, like some of the other ones, like, oh, those are actually much more interesting than like the courage. So again, they're putting their worst foot forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, easily. I mean, the icebreaker deck is awesome, and I have a product like this now that's just like conversation topics. That's great. We whip it out at like parties.
Yeah, it's like a little. You put it. It's like a coffee table thing.
Yeah, and it's like, what's your dream or something? I mean, they're dumb, but they are kind of fun, and they're easy to just like get conversation moving. Totally. So I would definitely buy like the icebreaker pack, but the like goofy challenges to get you inspired. Not so much.
Here's my other problem is that like, don't you feel that this would work much better in an app format?
I like physical. I mean, this is the kind of stuff they sell at Target, right?
That's true.
And it's the kind of stuff that you put on your coffee table So I think an app is a good maybe.
For specifically the courage one, if I got a reminder that's like, hey Scott, like you should try doing this today, and then I got another one at the end of the day.
I would blow off the reminder and delete the app because that's so annoying.
I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for encouragement, I would stop using this deck after 3 days. But I might let the app run for a couple months before I was like, I can't do this.
But you're just ignoring the notification. You'd let it run because it's not as obnoxious as like pulling a card out of a deck, but you're not doing any of the challenges.
I might do them. I think I'd be more inclined to do it with an app, and maybe that's just me.
That is definitely you because you're kind of zany and weird. And
well, okay,
yeah,
shots fired. All right, let's do a little speed round, and then I'm really excited for Andre's idea here. Good idea, bad idea. I think there's going to be a little bit of a trailer theme, if I'm not mistaken here. So, what's your good idea, bad idea, or your?
I will fight anyone that tries to tell me that the new Cats movie doesn't look good. And here's the reason is all the people online that are like, they look so weird and the CGI of the cats is so strange. You're all idiots. And the reason is because have you seen Cats? It's a weird musical.
It is weird.
I saw it. We won like lottery. I did not buy a ticket to Cats and I never would. But we like in Broadway in New York, like you can just enter a lottery and maybe get a ticket. And we got them to Cats when we were there. And at intermission, we turned to each other and we were like, what is this musical? Why, how is this so popular? It's so weird. It's a weird freaking musical. So the movie is also weird. And even in full costume and makeup, they still look kind of off-putting and kind of creepy.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think there's a couple weird things. So one, because Andrew Lloyd Webber is like, obviously makes nothing but amazing things for the most part. Cats, I would say, is one of his weirdest entries. And it's definitely the one that if I pretend to know the most about, I'm like, oh yeah, of course there's Cats. And if someone's like, name 2 songs off Cats, I couldn't do it.
That's a shame because the music is good.
Sure. And I think you're like, so I believe that there was no live action version of this that would have satisfied anyone.
No way.
It was always going to be like, oh, whoa.
But I still want a live action version. I still think it could be a really fun movie, and it's going to expose so many people to the creepy weirdness that is Cats.
This is actually, I think, the true problem. I think people are thinking that the issue is the CGI when actually I think it's a casting issue, personally.
Or it could just be that the source material is challenging.
Well, no, because this is my problem. Well, as I watched it, I was like, okay, I'm not bought into it. And then I see James Corden and I see Fat Amy, and it looks like they're in a cat costume, just playing themselves.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah. If they had gone, so do you think it would have been better if they had gone no name?
No name, maybe one. Keep Judi Dench.
Exactly.
Sure.
Nobody knows what Judi Dench looks like.
Even Taylor Swift, I'm fine with, because it's like she's not a traditional actress.
Yeah.
But like, I don't.
No, I see what you mean, which is that somebody says this cat is James Corden, and now you're seeing the James Corden features. Whereas if you didn't know the actor or actress, you might be more accommodating to just understand that it's a cat.
Absolutely.
Kind of agree. But then nobody would see it if there was no star power because it's a weird musical that nobody wants to see.
It is weird. Yeah. Anyway, that's my take on it. It's like, I think it's fine. It's whatever. Like, this is. Cats is controversial in the theater realm. It's always going to be controversial.
I'm sure that there are Broadway fans that are driving to my house to kill me right now. They're like, Cats is a work of art. It's weird.
The funniest thing, I think about this is so my counter to this is the Top Gun 2 trailer, which if you ever were to have 2 trailers that were so representative of the political divide, you would have the very liberal artistic Cats on one side and then macho military Top Gun 2 on the other side.
Yeah.
And like you can, based on like who's posting what and commenting on what, like it's like, oh, I wonder, like it's almost as if there's a connection there between the left and the right.
Right.
An interesting dynamic, But Top Gun 2.
Haven't seen Top Gun. I said this to Scott and he gave me a bad look earlier. But my understanding is that the original Top Gun came out a really long time ago.
It did. Longer than people think. And it is of the era of like big time campy that we are totally okay with. But if you rewatch Top Gun, you're like, man, this is cheeseball city. Like very over the top acting and dialogue.
Which when we watch movies from the 80s, That's what we expect to see.
That's what you want, right?
But not in the modern era.
This is my problem. And you brought this point up with Space Jam.
Yeah.
Which is just like, should you make a Space Jam 2? Should you make an ET 2? Did we really need a Top Gun 2?
Yeah.
Maverick.
Not a good idea.
I don't think it's a great idea. I think it's going to be well made. Tom Cruise, generally, he makes more. Well, he makes more. He makes more good movies than he makes bad movies, as far as like crowd pleasers.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Like it's rare that it like has like a big bomb, right? Maybe The Mummy was his most recent bomb, but like all the Mission Impossibles,
The Mummy was real bad.
it was real bad. But all the Mission Impossibles are all like everybody generally likes them.
Yeah.
You know,
the lowest common denominator of society loves Tom Cruise.
he is a popcorn, just generic action star, right? So I think this movie will be like, this is kind of it's a pseudo like serious role. I have a hard time seeing this anywhere above a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. I would have rather a Top Gun-esque movie set in the universe where Tom Cruise is featured briefly, but it's about something else.
Yeah. Do I need to have seen Top Gun 1?
I honestly think you do, because based on the trailer, it's like there's volleyball references and there's all these references, people who are dead, and it's like, why are you still this? Like, I don't think you can watch one without the other, because a lot of I think they're really leaning into like nostalgia on this. Okay. Do you think it's time, Andre?
I think it's time, and I'm really I actually have butterflies in my stomach right now.
This is one thing we've changed for the format here. So instead of one of us just pitching this idea, we're actually going to make a slideshow presentation with build up, and then we're going to put it on the website so you can kind of see the pitch deck. This is the first one, so give Andre a little bit of slack.
I can make some improvements here. Maybe some like app images. I do not think that I could sell this to an investor at the current stage. It doesn't mean it's not a good idea.
Oh, I like what I'm seeing so far. I just opened it up, so I'm a clean pal here.
So let's set the stage. Couple of statistics for you.
Hit me with them.
43.1 million people currently live in apartments, apartment buildings, apartment complexes.
Wow.
Multifamily housing. Okay. 36% of workers participate in the quote unquote gig economy. Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, DoorDash, these different
jobs that are
just quick get money jobs, not hourly kind of rate based jobs.
No experience really, other than
anybody can do
license.
That. Exactly. But there's 140% growth in work from home opportunities. So we know people want to work from home more, and
that's probably only going to go up and up and up.
Totally. And I think that there's maybe an interesting cross section of gig economy is generally people with certain.
Careful, Andre.
Definitely. But certain restrictions. There's a reason that they maybe couldn't work a 9 to 5 in some cases. Other people enjoy freedom and all these other things. But then maybe
it is a job you can like tack on as well as a job. It's like, I cannot do this because I X, Y, and Z. So I
have a kid that has to right. And I think that I DoorDash fairly regularly, and a lot of people just have interesting circumstances.
Totally.
But we know for sure that there are people who maybe are unable to leave the home for work, but want money.
Yep.
But can't really participate in the gig economy. They can't go drive Uber. So where I've landed is I think that there is a major problem, which is that scheduling home services sucks. Like I recently scheduled a plumber and it was really painful. I have like a cleaner come and it's really, really, and they're great. Like, and they're a well-established service. They're a name that you would definitely know, but it's still like texting them, like, what's the door code? Oh, it's a new person today. They don't know how to find your house. And it's like I live in a complex, so it's actually really challenging to find where I live. But at my old apartment, we had like trash valet. So I just put my trash outside the door and it just disappeared every day, which I thought was really, really cool. And there are a million home tasks that I hate doing. I hate doing laundry. I hate finding someone to feed my cat. I really hate the scheduling and calling and back and forth to get someone to my apartment. And I hate paying somebody to drive to my house to feed my cat and then leave. And
I kind of like where this is going. If I think
really
it's going
efficient. So I think the gig economy, but in your apartment complex. So here's the thought is at my old apartment complex, it was probably 50 to 60 units. So we would call that like a mid-size apartment.
Okay.
I'm positive that there were stay-at-home moms or elderly retired people that would do my laundry for me. Basically, like that's the most critical service in the world.
Or take your trash out or feed your cat or
totally. Right. And like, luckily I had a neighbor that would feed my cat, but how easy if I got to hop on an app and for like $3 find somebody in my apartment that will walk up a flight of stairs, feed my cat, and then walk home.
And then walk home.
Right. And there are people that are home all day, every day that are like, okay, I got a 3-year-old kid. I can't really leave.
Yes.
But I could go pick up a laundry hamper outside of somebody's door, wash it, fold it, and then put it back at the end of the day.
Totally.
And I could make $15 doing it. And how awesome would that be for me not to have to leave, not to acquire a new skill, but just use the services and things that are already at my house and then do them for people that are, for the other people, the people that are out working. And maybe you're being supported, but you just want some extra income. Or maybe this is like, okay, this is how I pay my rent, is like I just hang out at home. I wash 10 people's laundry. I put it back. I take out some trash. Maybe I go in, I scrub a sink. I feed a dog. I feed a cat. And I make just some side income.
Change a light bulb,
like whatever, right? And I think, and then there's other people like me, like I'm working professional. I just don't want to do these things.
What about like there's something up really high in a cabinet and I just need a tall person?
Exactly. Right. And
like
so,
$2.
Yeah.
It's like I'd pay somebody $2 to like help me hang this painting.
Yeah. So here's the strengths are that I do think that there's a demand. I think when I look at all these subscription boxes and getting things delivered, and I look at the gig economy and I look at DoorDash, and I think that people maybe aren't becoming lazier, but are choosing to spend their time in different ways, right?
Well, I think we live in a surplus economy. Like we have more money than we know what to do with.
Exactly.
We are almost inventing problems because it's like, well, we have all this affluence. What do we do? And so I think people can take advantage of that, which is why this gig economy is so effective, right?
Yeah. I think that there's some opportunity here. And
Andre,
I think it's just like low service, low effort, in-home services by people that are already there.
The experience that you had last time where I said to you, I'm a little worried you're gonna poo-poo this idea. You had that same sentiment to me, which is like, I think this is gonna suck.
This might be a bomb.
This might be a bomb. Not so, Andre. I love it.
It's a good idea.
It is a great idea.
Yeah.
I think there's some like you'd really have to iron out.
Oh, I have holes, and we can talk through those too.
But the idea that, you know, because I have a wife who I think about this all the time. She's like, I want to contribute. I want to help.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I can't go get a W-2
I have
somewhere.
2 kids.
I have 2 kids,
Yeah.
right? And it's like the times in which that she can do something are so limited, right?
Yeah.
But there are nap times. There are these like small windows. If let's say we live in an apartment complex in the same scenario, if her kids were down and she just had to go pick up 10 bags of trash all along the hallway, or do laundry that she's going to be doing anyway, but with 10 other people, absolutely.
Right.
And like, even if all you
And it's
bring
not
is
a ton of money, but
Yeah.
it pays for lunch, right? And it's like, okay, now I can get Chick-fil-A. Like, this makes sense for me.
Totally. And it allows you to be like, yeah, I made 15, 20, $50 today. And like that adds up over time. So at the end of the month, you're like, yeah, I've been doing this every day. I've got an extra $1,000. Maybe that could cover rent.
Totally.
Maybe that could, you know, pay a car payment or get you the next step up on something or get you out of the apartment, right? Like, I love it. I think it's a great way to like sustain the current lifestyle that I think so many people have moved into, which is this gig economy. Like, I'm in on it. Yeah, I think as I think about like, okay, the difference between, you know, something that Uber has an advantage of, it's like, okay, like you have to have a car of a specific year, which means you have to be responsible enough to have that car.
Yeah.
You have to pass a background check. You have to be able to drive, which means you've gone to driver's ed. You know, there's these some barriers to get there where it's like,
well, and you don't have a child or a disability or like all these other things that make it challenging to leave home for 8 hours and drive.
Totally. But the flip side of that is like those things qualify someone even ever so slightly. Whereas like,
really,
I mean, just ever so slightly. Yeah. Whereas like you could be a freaking closet dweller, you know, just like weirdo, creepy guy. It's like, I can move someone's trash. And it's like, you want to make sure there's at least some sort of barrier, I think.
Yeah, like a government issued ID that's maybe getting verified or something.
Sure,
like
something. Yeah, whatever it ends up being. Like, I think that's one concern people have is like, people are generally like, I lock my door for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like suspicious and like, you know, so people have to feel comfortable and have to feel safe because you're even that much closer to home.
Right.
You're not just like in a car somewhere like you were like this.
But maybe that's like what's nice about it is that they're that much closer to home. They're literally your neighbor, which makes it kind of challenging for them to rob you blind.
That's true. That's a fair point.
And you have kind of an authority in your world, which is like you have a office that has their personal information. You have right? That vetted them for credit, like in the same way that it's challenging to rent an apartment sometimes.
Sure.
You have somebody that actually has their information on file that lives in the same building. They are your neighbor, which means that they are less likely to rob you because they're going to see you in the parking lot. Like there's, I think, some protections. That being said, I want to talk about some of the pains that have been exposed to me in a couple conversations about this.
Yeah.
The first is like, what is the revenue model exactly? The natural conclusion is like, oh, the same way that Uber makes money, they take a cut of the fare. They make money on every service. But in a way that's not like Uber, they're your neighbor, which it's like, why wouldn't you just, maybe the first transaction is on the platform, but the second transaction is like, okay, now just keep doing this and I'll keep paying you. Yeah. So it's like, okay, how does that really work? I think that there are some ways to work with that, which is like Airbnb, where it's like they offer you some protection of some sort. It's like, okay, we're gonna insure you up to $25K, but only if you do the business on our platform. So I think that's one model. The other model is maybe closer to like Nextdoor. So Nextdoor is a community, like social media, where you have to actually verify that you live in a certain zip code or something.
It's kind of like a localized Facebook, right?
Yeah, and you have to prove it. Like you have to have a credit card that bills to the zip code, or you have to send a piece of mail to the zip code, and all this different stuff. Similar to that, and the way that they make money, there's no cost. They make money. They advertise like local services, right? And I think that that's possibly another working model, where it's like more like an OfferUp type thing, where you're posting the service that you're willing to provide, but only to local people. And then the platform makes money just in advertising things that are local to you, right? Which is like, okay, you probably don't want to hire somebody in your building for your plumber, but now we're going to give you ads for services that are close to you, and that's how you make money.
Do you think any sort of subscription model of like, hey, it's $15 a month and this gets you access to like 10
three things would be so awesome.
10 jobs or X amount of jobs, and if you want to hire a higher model, $20 a month, then you get access to 20 jobs in a month or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you could probably figure out, okay, how many times do I need to feed my cat? Okay, once a week, or where you can't. Yeah. Or how many times do I do my laundry? Like you could probably calculate it up. So that could be another potential way.
Totally. Which would be awesome, and I would love that.
The other way is some sort of like Angie's List type of thing, where it's like you have to pay to get into the circle. It's like a one-time thing, and maybe like some sort of membership thing. And at that point, if you want to make your own deals beyond that, that's your prerogative. But like you pay to get access to the network.
Yeah.
A higher premium up front, pay $50, and then like you pay, and then if you want to go offline, you can. But like pay to get in type of thing.
Totally, which could totally work also. I think the third model that I may be the least confident in is like all of these apartments, townhomes, whatever, have like generally like a portal, like a rent portal.
Sure.
And that's like a software service, like a SaaS company they're typically paying, and they manage your rent payments and your collections and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like an add-on there where it's like your landlord actually pays like a flat fee, like $200 to make this service available to his tenants.
Oh yeah,
it's a potential option. I don't know. Who knows what kind of landlord would be willing to like buy into this kind of new idea, but it could work. And I think it would be a huge selling point for me. Like I said, valet trash. That's a selling point.
Sure.
Like apartments are like, and we have valet trash. We'll take your trash out,
and we'll give you a free membership to
this thing,
which is called
Nexserve, which I'm really not like.
He was dancing around
like next door. I was trying to get to a name. I spent like 6 hours trying to think of this from last night, and I landed on Nexserve, which is total nonsense and probably already in use by somebody. So please workshop the name.
Yeah, thieves, if you can think of a good name for us,
send it in. At gostillthisidea.com.
Totally. You sold me, Andre. I think we still are on a hot streak of good ideas here.
That's 4 winners.
Yeah,
that's big.
We're going to move into this last segment, and then we're going to wrap up. The last segment here, this is a new one. This is called the Idea Gauntlet. Now, a lot of people don't know this. A mutual friend of ours named Romeo Butters. He's a philanthropist. He's a billionaire. He interjects and he communicates with us very infrequently, but when he does, he means business.
I love Romeo.
He's a man,
Romeo.
a man of myth and legend. What Romeo has done is individually, he's given me specifically 3 ideas that he needs to invest in, and he's given Andre $100,000. And he says, Andre, I need you to make the call, and Scott, I need you to pitch the ideas to Andre, and Andre's going to choose which of these 3 ideas is the best. Now, there is a theme to these ideas in this idea gauntlet, and the theme is peanut butter.
Love it.
Romeo saw the the Goobers peanut butter in the aisle, the peanut butter that has the jelly and peanut butter inside. And he said, that's an interesting invention. I'm surprised it's still around. I think we all are. No one knows who buys it, but it's still there.
Lazy people that are not willing to use 2 knives.
He looked at that and he said that market needs to be disrupted, the peanut butter market. So I'm going to present 3 ideas to you, Andre. You tell me which one you think is the best. Where would you invest this $100,000? All in one, maybe split it up.
Got it.
Idea number 1. This is called chapstick peanut butter. That's not what you think.
Please no. Please don't.
It is not chapstick within the flavor of peanut butter. A big problem, 2 of these have the same problem, which is that peanut butter jars are notorious, and getting the peanut butter out becomes exponentially more difficult as you partake more peanut butter, right? Andre just did the hand motion. He knows exactly where I'm going.
It's a roll-up.
It's a roll-up situation. At the bottom of the peanut butter, it's a simple twist function that pushes that peanut butter up to the surface. Okay? That's idea number 1.
Got it.
Idea number 2. This is called the peanut butter the peanut butter screw jar. So in a similar way,
This sounds like the same. Yeah.
it's very similar. In a similar fashion, so instead of having a mechanism, which could be more costly, the jar itself, every 1.5 inches, you're able to unscrew that part of the jar. And so it's basically like 5.5 inches plastic pieces that are all stacked on top of each other, filled with peanut butter. The cap goes on top, and you can just basically take off 1.5 inches as you get down the jar, down to that last 1.5 inches.
Got
So
it.
you never have to scrape. That's idea number 2. Idea number 3. This is travel PB&J. So you're camping, you're going out and about. There's not a good way to bring peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter comes in a big jar. Jelly comes in a big jar oftentimes. So you can get these small little portions which aren't really helpful. Or you get PB&J in the container of toothpaste that can fit in your toiletries bag. You could spread it very easily on a nice thing of bread. It's positioned. You buy it at REI. It's like a fun like travel thing. You got like protein style there. It's kind of a unique. Oh yeah, PB&J on the go, like on camping, on road trips, on whatever. Like it fits anywhere. Those are the 3 ideas, Andre. Rank them and invest.
All right. I'm calling up my friend Romeo. And I'm saying lose Scott as your idea, man. All 3 are losers, and I'll do them real quick. 1, peanut butter chapstick. It won't physically work because peanut butter, as we all know, if you've ever put a knife in a jar of peanut butter, you understand why there's no way that any twist mechanism is going to push the contents to the top. It's just going to get jammed. Like it would be so hard. So a jar of peanut butter, twist mechanism, out. Physically won't work. The second idea is just confusing to me. I don't know. Like, give me the pitch again because.
So take a peanut butter jar.
Yeah.
So this literally happened at my last job. So as the peanut butter jar went down, somebody would physically take a knife, probably sharpened by Knife Aid, and they would cut the jar in half.
Yes.
And then just leave
you
it
could
there.
get to the bottom.
And then you get to the bottom. So instead of that, which is insane, what if instead the jar itself was made so that, how the top has like the place where you could screw in the lid, that same top, but every 2 inches down. So you could literally unscrew 1 inch of plastic off of it and then screw the top back on.
No.
So now it's half the size.
No, bad idea. What peanut butter company is going to invest in this bizarre jar mechanism doesn't make sense, especially to solve the problem, which is like, it's annoying to get to the bottom of the jar. Like, just make there's so many solutions that are lower tech, like make the jar flare out at the top or something like that. 100 things that work better than the 6-tier jar, like Russian doll situation. Hate it. The third idea already exists. So I'm going to say, Romeo, just invest. Like, there's already like Go tubes of peanut butter that you can buy in like the supermarket aisle.
Yeah, but peanut butter and jelly?
Oh, I don't know if jelly. I mean, then we're just to Goober 2.0, which is not a winner either. So I love
in
the support you're
REI
saying. Yeah,
as a camping tool.
potentially as a camping tool.
Because here's the scenario that happened to me is that like we went on a little camping trip and I literally I brought my full thing of peanut butter and jelly, took up space in my cooler.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, oh, there's a knife. I don't have one. If I just had a little, like I could chuck it in there and just pour it on there, spread it with my finger.
But again, I just don't think peanut butter is a thick, dense substance. It's not going to come out of a tube when you squeeze.
Sure it would.
Test it.
You just said there was already a
All right.
spread thing.
Thieves, listen. go home, get a Ziploc bag, and then first, just to demonstrate how challenging this would be, you're going to take a spatula or knife or whatever and ladle all of the peanut butter into the Ziploc bag and then cut a little hole and then try to squeeze peanut butter out of the hole. It won't work.
It'll work.
It won't work.
It'll work.
I will take a video. I will do it when I get
Thieves
home.
will prove you wrong on this one. So what you're saying is Romo needs to keep his money for the next idea.
I know I wanted to be as supportive of you as you were of me, but those were 3 not good peanut butter ideas.
None of these were my ideas. These are ideas that I've heard of.
Right. These are Romeo's ideas. I'm just pitching them.
No, these are not my ideas. These are one of them is John's idea. I won't tell you who. Another is a friend of mine's. I won't tell you who. And then the other one was actually, I guess technically the to-go one. I was like, oh, that could be like a third interesting one.
Yeah. All great people, I'm sure. I'm positive. And they're all really smart too.
They're going to be really upset when they hear this.
And so please rate our podcast 5 stars before you do that. But I'm sure these are good ideas. Go out and test them. Like go out, maybe like put together a V1 and prove me wrong. 100%. If you believe, prove me wrong.
If you believe. There's probably a reason these things don't exist, is what you're saying.
No, because they're all super innovative ideas. I'm not surprised that Jif hasn't like product tested some of these things. I just don't think that on face they sound like a logical solution.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for Ideal Gauntlet and the show.
That's it.
Andre,
Episode 4.
Give everybody the ways to get in touch with us.
Yes.
At Steal This Idea.
So to see notes and links related to the show, go to gostealthisidea.com where we post the show notes and other details. And I'm going to post a video of me squeezing peanut butter out of a Ziploc bag.
And a picture of your 8 travel pillows.
Oh, right. I will, and I did order that. I really, really did. So that should be at my house in 5 to 7 business days, and I will take a video. Or email us at idea@gostealthisidea.com. Typically on these episodes, we do a mailbag. We'd love to talk through your ideas and shoot them down just like I did the peanut butter idea.
Yeah, unless they're peanut butter. That's the lion's den. If you got a peanut butter idea, get prepared.
Then don't come at me. Or chat us at Twitter @GoStealThisIdea.
And that's going to do it.
That's going to do it.
We'll see you next time.
Signing off.